Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy June. Happy Wednesday.
Yay. Guys, it's freaking hot. I don't know where y'all are, but it is so hot here.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's not summer, I'm like, oof, we gonna just scorch in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Technically, it's not summer, but I don't really know, what... there's a date that marks summer.
Yeah,
but what
June 21st.
determines that, though?
Somebody.
I feel like at this point, we need to move it back because climate change and stuff, summer's early.
Summer's all year round.
You know?
It's just hot,
Okay.
honestly.
Maybe not all year round, but a few weeks earlier.
I agree. I totally agree. Instead of working today, hope nobody at my job is listening to this, I went to the beach instead. So
See, we love to see that.
yeah, we do. I am currently sitting here looking like Larry the Lobster, very sunburnt.
Mm-hmm,
It was very much so worth it. But it was 95 degrees, and it was hot out there.
Yeah, it was about that
scary.
hot here too, and there is no beach, so
That's
just
tragic.
had to suffer through my job today.
Ew,
So
disgusting. Literally
Yeah.
disgusting. Could never be me.
never.
Me tomorrow. But
Yeah.
anyways, so I'm sure everyone in the whole world knows already, but if you don't know, Stranger Things season 4 came out, and I just need to tell you, if you like our show, you will love Stranger Things, so you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not sponsored, but it really should be for the amount that it's impacting my life.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so serious.
honestly.
I already
Taylor's
watched
been
the new season twice.
I'm only on I'm about halfway through the season, and Taylor's been bugging me to finish it. She's like, I need someone to talk to about this.
I literally do.
Yeah. I'll get there.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Very soon. Very soon. I'm so excited. I might have to watch it a third time. I'm not going to. Maybe. We'll see. But it is really good. So. Wait, one crazy thing before we get into our stories is that I saw they had a budget of $30 million per episode in the fourth season. And I get it. I see why. But that's crazy.
See, that amount of money, it's I can't even imagine spending that much. It's just...
Me neither. But actually I could.
It's just because we're, we
Poor.
don't have... Yeah, we're poor. So...
Yeah, it's the truth. It's nothing but the truth.
That's
But,
insane.
yeah. So, go watch it. But other than that, my life is very uneventful. So, I don't really have any other intro topics.
Yeah. Yeah, I really got nothing.
Literally. We were sitting here trying to brainstorm. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
don't know.
maybe next week.
Yeah, hopefully next week. Anyways, shall we dive into the stories?
Yes. So, this week I accidentally did another story that was really close to Philly.
Okay, accidentally.
Okay, not really accidentally, but kind of. I was just looking for something haunted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered this place that I went to when I was younger. That was a fort that was supposed to be really haunted.
Oh, fun.
Yes, it's called Fort Mifflin.
Never heard of her.
Okay. Well, see, when I was younger, I went there once, I think. Maybe twice. I don't know. But I looked it up because I was it was definitely really close to where I lived. It was 6 miles from where I lived.
And you went once?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad. But
I don't know.
at
But
least you went once.
Yeah. But I would hear about it all the time, so I knew of it. But yeah, now I wish we lived closer. I wish I still lived there so I could go and investigate, because
I know.
I'm about to tell you it's haunted.
Yeah, we should. We're making a Philly trip sometime soon in the future. I'm saying it, so we can go visit.
Yeah. So let me get into a little bit about it. Like I said, it's in Pennsylvania, United States, of course. Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, on right on the Delaware River.
Shout out Delco.
It's literally steps away from Delaware County, right where I lived.
We love to see Delco.
Yeah, really close. And right near the airport too, which I lived right by the airport, so makes sense. But that part about it, like, is kind of bad because audio interferences for, like, the investigations and stuff.
Oh, true. I didn't even think about that.
Get into that a little bit later, but they have some trouble with that. And my dad and my brother have actually stayed overnight here.
Ew. Why?
Yeah.
For Boy Scouts?
Yeah, for Boy Scouts. They went camping
Creepy.
there at Fort Mifflin.
Yeah, my dad and brother went to like some fort when they were in Boy Scouts and stayed too. I'm sure it was haunted too.
Yeah. I think they have like cabins there, but I didn't really cover those in what I was like writing about here, but they have like a place for them to camp.
Yeah.
And I asked my dad like if he saw anything or like there was anything going on there when they were staying, and he just said, "Oh, I felt like creeped out the whole time."
Ew. That's
Yeah.
creepy.
And he said he like couldn't sleep.
Okay, that's really creepy. I don't think I would expect your dad to say that.
I know. Yeah, and he was saying that like I think just the fact that he heard that it was haunted like sort of creeped him out, and then like just being there, I don't know if there's like a presence.
Yeah. Ew, creepy.
Sort of, yeah. And then when I went for like my little day trip, I didn't stay overnight, but I saw they have like cannons there, and they did like a reenactment and like shot off cannons.
Oh.
It's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So this fort was built like a really long time ago. In
I bet.
1776, so it was like around the Revolutionary War.
Wow. She is old.
Yeah. It's called like the fort that saved America.
Oh.
Just because, I guess because it was used in the Revolutionary War. It was actually started by the British. And the Americans like took it over to you know, have the Revolutionary War. Like,
yeah.
They basically, like, the British they were making it to protect their colony, and then that sort of backfired, basically, is what happened.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
And it's been in sort of, like, it's been used in almost every war, like, big war that America has been in. So, like, the Revolutionary, Civil War, World War I and II.
Wow.
So, it has really a lot of history. So, a lot of different ghosts. So, the main thing I used for my little research here, was this show on the Travel Channel.
Ooh.
Called Portals to Hell.
Oh, okay.
Dramatic.
I have never heard of that one, but that is very dramatic.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it either, but I was just looking up, like, okay, where can I find some stuff about this? And I just watched the episode, and I'm gonna sort of summarize it. I think I have a few other things in here that weren't in the episode, but most of it's from that.
Nice.
And if you want to watch it yourself, it's season 3, episode 4.
Nice.
So the show has 2 co-stars, Jack and Katrina, and Jack is British, and then Katrina is like, she says that she's actually from the Philadelphia area, so that was cool. Oh. She's like, oh yeah, I've been here when I was growing up too. It's like a very popular spot for like, you know, school trips and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they also brought a psychic medium on the show to like check out the area, so that was cool. So the first part they went and saw were the casemates, which were like, they were like little rooms, like, I don't know how to explain it. They're like, there's hills all around Fort Mifflin, and these buildings are built into the hill.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So they don't have any like windows or anything. It's just like a door, and you go into it, and you're like in this hill. That's basically, if you can imagine that, that's what it is. And that's what these casemates were. So casemate number 5 is where they went first, and they had like a tour guide, and she was saying that there's a few ghosts that were inhabiting this area. The main one was the Faceless Man.
Ooh. That's already scary sounding.
Yeah. He's, I don't know, he doesn't seem too scary once I talk about him a little bit. But he is, like, people think that he is Captain Nathan Stoddard. That's, like, possibly who this was. And he was alive during the Revolutionary War. So 1775 to 1783 was the war. So during that time, which was, of course, independence from Britain. And he was, like, in this casemate, and he went to look if the British had stopped firing. So he, like, basically popped his head over the hill.
No.
And then he's lost his head to a cannonball.
Oh my God. I did not think that's what you were going to say. That's so much worse.
I know. Isn't that insane? Like, a whole cannonball just coming right towards your face.
That would be like the scariest 2 seconds of your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sad for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So there is another ghost in there too. Judge Jacob Wilhelm. And he was involved in this thing called the Fishing Creek Insurrection, where, like, pacifists came together against the Civil War. Because, like, there was actually a draft for the Civil War. I didn't even know that.
No, me neither.
I didn't even know that until I just did this research now. So that shows you American history in schools.
Oh, yeah. We know nothing about history.
Yeah, so these people were protesting the draft, and they were rounded up and put in the casemates because they're like, you guys can't be protesting. We're putting you in jail.
Wow.
So this judge was put in the jail, and he was hanged.
Oh my God.
And the judge, he still haunts the area, and he likes to curse at people.
That's really funny. So you just, like, hear curse words?
Yeah, if you hear curse words, then you know it's the judge.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So they also, like, they had the psychic medium, like I said, and he went into this casemate and was, like, trying to, you know, suss out the place and see if he could figure anything out without anyone telling him what had happened. Mm-hmm. And he asked the ghost, like, how he died, and he heard someone say, like, that his head was crushed.
Oh, God. So he knew that, like, without anybody telling him?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. And he said that he was trying to protect the fort and got hit in the head.
I mean, that's exactly what happened, so...
And he basically said that, like this ghost was telling him that he was alive one moment and then the next he was gone, and, like, he just saw his body. Like, isn't that crazy?
Wow, that just gave me chills. I, like, fully believe that.
I know. I do too, like, the fact that he just didn't even know going into it, and then...
Yeah, because I mean, I knew it had to happen fast. Like, the timing had to literally be perfect for that to happen.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah. So that ghost is very strong energy in there for this medium to pick him up. But yeah, just craziness.
Literally.
So there is another casemate that they went into, number 11.
Shout out 11 on Stranger Things.
You're right.
It's the only thing on my mind.
Oh, this kind of relates to her because this was the solitary confinement.
Oh, what? That's so bad.
Yeah. Anyways, this casemate was the solitary confinement during the Civil War. So I guess, so the first one had somebody from Revolutionary War, and then the Civil War, and then this one has Civil War. Mm-hmm. So there were 2 people held in here that, like, is on record. There could have been more, but, like, these are the only 2 that are confirmed to have been confined here. Mm-hmm. Sergeant Bernard Devlin, and then another guy named Private William H. Howe. And they were both accused of desertion.
What is that even?
I guess they, like, deserted their, you know, their side, and they were just put in jail for it because they were caught.
Yeah, that's so savage.
Yeah. It's savage.
It's savage. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to be part of the war either. I would try to leave too.
Well, yeah, I guess
And
you're
then
right.
to put them into solitary confinement, that's really savage.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even do it. They just ran.
I know.
Like,
I wonder if they were, whatever, drafted.
that's what I'm saying. Like, that they probably were, like, drafted and they didn't want to be in this war. That's exactly what I would do. So that's sad and very savage of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, but actually also, I forgot about this and I'm just reading it now. How, like the second person I was saying, he was accused of murder of an officer.
Okay, well, you could have led with that one.
I know. But they both deserted for separate things, I guess. Or maybe they did together. I don't even know. But yeah, he was charged with, like, also murder.
With also murder.
So I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't.
Maybe not as savage as I originally thought.
Yeah. And they were hanged in 1864.
Yeah.
So, and they are still around today.
Dun dun dun.
So the tour guide, she told them a story. And she said that one day she was giving a tour, and like the power had been shut off at the fort that day, just for like maintenance or something. And the group had flashlights because they were like, okay, well, we can still do the tour. Let's just have flashlights.
Yeah, make it extra spooky.
True, yeah. And these, like, you know, these casemates are like pitch black because there's no windows or anything.
Yeah.
So they go in there with their flashlights, and she went to walk down the stairs and like felt around for a railing or something, and she felt an ice cold arm guiding her down the stairs.
Absolutely stop. That's horrifying. I don't even care if they are nice ghosts. That's so scary. Can you imagine like reaching your hand and thinking it's like one thing and it's a cold arm? Oh no.
I know.
No.
But she said it was like an ice pack. It was so cold. And she thinks it was Private Howe.
The murderer.
Yeah, the murderer.
That's okay. That's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he didn't do it though.
I mean, yeah.
He was framed.
I don't know that. He could have been a horrible person. He could have been a great person. We'll never know.
I mean, he helped her down the stairs.
Okay, that's a very solid point.
So yeah, that happened. And then one of the hosts of the show, Jack, he went into this casemate alone and sat in there and tried to like have an experience.
Ooh. Did he have an experience?
Sort of. He said he felt like a presence behind him.
Yeah.
And he felt nauseous and like a ringing in his ears.
Maybe it's just because you were alone in there.
Yeah, I know. But he went by himself because it was like a solitary confinement place.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, okay, I gotta bring back the energy.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
And then the psychic actually went in there too, separately, and he heard some voices actually, and he heard a ringing in his ears as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe not just because he was sitting in the darkness. Or maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the other one seems more haunted right now, but
definitely
that has a little bit of spirits, a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
So the next one, this one honestly doesn't have too much to it, but I'll just mention it. There was the West Sallyport, it's a guard station, and they actually have like a paranormal like guy there.
Oh, that's cool.
They said his title, but I mean, I didn't pause to write it down.
Well, I mean, he's literally a paranormal guy, so.
Yeah, he's just a paranormal guy.
That's the title.
But like, I thought that was so cool. They have somebody like either working for or volunteering for this fort who's just like there to talk about the ghosts.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I want that to be my job.
I know.
Honestly.
And he said that at that part of the fort, West Sallyport, he said that he felt somebody like at one point he was in there and he felt somebody crawl over him.
Was he standing up?
I think he was like bent over.
Oh. Oh,
And
absolutely not.
yeah. Yeah. And he said he would feel a presence in there almost every time he went over there.
Ew.
But he wasn't sure who it was.
I would never want to feel anything crawling over me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, at least they're not bad, but also, do you know that for a fact?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, these were the guards. I guess that doesn't really mean anything, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, anyways, moving on from that one. There is the next thing they went to see was the Powder magazine.
What is
which
that?
is like this big building that they kept the gunpowder in.
Oh, they have so many weird names
I know.
for places at this
I
little
know.
fort.
Yeah. A lot of the parts of this fort are like not even like outdoor buildings. They're all just like in the hills.
In the hills. Wait, did you go into like the little hill building? What did you call them?
The casemates.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to have.
Yeah, you definitely had to.
I mean,
You don't remember.
I don't remember it that well because it was like a long time ago.
Yeah, we are old.
I know. We're really old.
Disgusting.
It was like at least 15 years ago. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, okay.
I'm so old.
Whoa.
Anyways, where was that? Okay, the Powder magazine.
Mm-hmm.
They kept the gunpowder in here, and the paranormal guy who was with them now, he was saying that whenever people are at this place for tours, they're drawn to the back corner.
Ew, what's in the back corner?
Nothing.
Oh.
It's like a totally empty room because like this used to be where they kept the gunpowder, but now there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
So it's totally empty, but people are drawn to the back corner.
Hmm.
And he also had a little story. He said a school of the blind toured. They came for a class trip and they were all like feeling around and they were all drawn to the back corner.
That. Okay. Ew. I got the chills yet again.
Mm-hmm.
What was in the back corner?
I don't know. There is like a theory. He said that there could be like bodies buried back there or
Oh
something.
my. That's way worse than I thought. I was going to be like, that's like where the bar was in the gunpowder room. Or like, I don't know, something fun.
No, not like that. He's thinking like it's more like behind the wall. Something back there.
Okay, so they haven't checked back there?
No, it's just like a brick wall. They're not going to take it down.
They probably should.
I don't think they're going to.
If they think that is bodies.
I mean, but during like the Revolutionary War, it's like
I mean,
it's like a long time ago.
I guess, but like the bones would still be there.
Yeah. But like, I don't know.
That's so weird. Ew. That is so weird. Do you know like which corner of the room, like left, right?
It was like the left corner, the left back corner.
Okay, so when we go there, I'm not going to go to that left back corner. That's what I'm thinking
Or maybe
about.
you'll be drawn to it.
Ew. Now I don't care how drawn I am to it. I'm not going. I'll look at the corner from afar.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, also they had equipment with them, you know, like people do when they're paranormal investigating.
Yeah, like EMF
and
detectors and such things.
Yeah, and it was going off like crazy.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
In that back corner.
I hate that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of energy.
To say the least.
Mm-hmm. And the psychic medium who they took with them, he came in like after the fact as well, like without knowing about this stuff, and he felt something that was behind that wall.
Well, he couldn't tell us what it was. He just felt something.
He actually said that he felt that it was the souls that were there were like a bunch of souls in there that like were not crossing over.
Yeah.
That there was somebody or something not allowing them to cross over.
That's really sad. I hope that.
Yeah.
Ugh. None of the options you have given me are good. None of them.
I know. Sorry. Okay, The next one I have for you is the hospital.
Oh, Lord.
So the hospital, they don't usually let people in for investigations, actually. But they did let these people in for the show. And it's located outside of the fort's gate for some reason.
That's weird, but yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it's still like technically part of it. Somebody who worked there actually had a story for them, and he said that one night he was staying overnight for some event they were having, and he laid out a sleeping bag and got in. It was just like in some area of this hospital, and he felt hands around his neck.
I hate it. I literally... That's probably like the scariest thing that could happen, because what are you even supposed to do?
No, I know.
Like, you can't rip them off if there's nothing really there.
Yeah, I mean, you know what he said he did though? He
What?
said, I just got up, got in my car, and left.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, what else? That's literally the only thing you can do.
Yeah. And now he still like works there, so he says
Oh,
he tries not to go over there at all, like that area.
yeah. It must have not scared him too bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it scared him enough to like
Yeah,
avoid that part. He says he
that's true.
stays like outside mostly now.
That's true.
But he says that it was a ghost named Edward.
Oh, he like knows fully who it is? Yeah, that's just Edward.
He's like guessing. He's like, I'm pretty sure it's this ghost named Edward. And he says that Edward doesn't like him because he accidentally called him Edmund the first time, like the first few times he like heard of him.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So that's probably why he choked him out, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I feel the same way. Somebody has a little anger issue, this little ghost.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the investigators they went into like all of these places and tried to get some stuff on like the EVPs and stuff, and what's the one where it does the sounds?
Like a ghost, like a spirit box?
Yes, one of those. I think they had one of those too, and they weren't really getting much. But then Jack, one of the co-hosts, he said maybe they're not coming through because I'm British.
Okay, that's a really good point, though.
Yeah. See?
Like, actually. Because that makes sense. They really did not like them.
Yeah, all
obviously.
the Revolutionary War people.
Yeah. He should have pretended to be American.
True. Honestly, I feel like that would make them more aggressive towards him.
Why? Because they would have known that he was British?
No, I'm just saying the fact that he's British should have made them more aggressive, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, if they were aggressive, maybe they're just chilling. Maybe they're stuck.
Yeah, but like if they're like still in that mindset of it's war.
That's true. I'm surprised he didn't get choked out.
Yeah, see? I don't know. But also, wasn't it a thing where like back in those times, like 1700s, the British accent wasn't really like what it is now?
I don't actually have any idea.
I'm pretty sure I've always heard that the British accent now is like fake.
What?
Because it was made up. See, now I'm giving you a history lesson. The American English accent, like that is the most like what old British accent was.
What is that? I can never tell between any of like the English accents. Like, there's so many of them.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know, just like the typical one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any of them. I think more like Southern, but not too Southern.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was like the English accent, and then they started talking more like posh and like on purpose to try to sound fancy.
I mean, it does
and
sound fancy.
And then it just caught on. It just caught on, and now that's the British accent, but
that's wild.
We kept the real one over here.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so that's just a little side note.
It is easy also. I have to admit that it's very easy to get stuck in a British accent. I've done it before.
See, I don't know if I can do one really, like, good.
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
mine's
good
not
at it.
good. Mine is not good, but
Okay, okay.
I don't even want to try it because I don't want to offend anybody with
Right,
how
right.
bad it is. But I did get stuck in a really horrible British accent for like a week one time. So,
A week?
yeah, genuinely.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Well, that's
me,
crazy.
I was like on this trip where we like were with a bunch of other people and like that we didn't know. So we were like, let's just convince them that we're from Britain, like
Oh,
Great
oh my
Britain.
gosh.
And it worked because, you know, Americans are dumb. They don't know like the real accents, you know, which is funny.
I know, I probably would have fell for it
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, so that was a little fun fact about accents
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
I mean, I believe you. I have no idea. So,
Okay, anyways, I only have like one little thing left about this fort. They didn't mention this on the show, but people say that there is a screaming woman who
oh,
roams the fort.
well, how did they leave that one out?
I know.
They didn't hear her. That's why.
Yeah, maybe. But she just like screams randomly. So,
Well, that's honestly me.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is some ghosts lingering
Oh,
here.
that's for sure.
Definitely the Faceless Man with the cannonball.
Yeah, that's so. I don't think I'm gonna get that image out of my head.
I know. That's just crazy.
That's sad. Like I want to help him move on. Like he deserves to go.
Right. I know.
Wow, that's a really crazy story. I'm really trying to go there. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool there.
Do you even remember if it was cool? That's so funny. I really want to go in. I already forgot again what they're called, but the little hill houses. That's what I'm gonna call
The
them.
casemates.
Casemates. I want to go in one of those because I just can't. I can picture what it looks like on the outside, but not the inside.
It's just all like stone walls.
That's
Like
not what I was
it's
imagining.
basically like you dig out the inside of the hill
Yeah,
and then line the walls with like stone basically.
that's really cool.
Like concrete, but I mean old fashioned,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's funny.
So yeah, it's like that.
That's crazy. That's wild. And you know what else is wild? The fact that our stories just kind of connect again. Just
Of course
in a
they
way.
do.
I mean, of course they do. But, I mean, you know, just because they're both really old, that's why. So, this week for you, I have the legend of Goody Cole. Have you ever heard of Goody Cole?
No.
Well, I hadn't either. So, I'm going to be telling you the story of a woman by the name of Eunice Goody Cole. So, she went by Goody, but her name was Eunice. So,
Okay.
but from here on out, we're going to call her Goody Cole. So, she is actually the only woman who was ever convicted of witchcraft twice in New Hampshire.
Oh, twice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just dive in because this story is wild. So Goody, she had a husband named William, very typical name. And there are no records of them ever having kids, but it is possible that they had kids because they actually moved from England to the U.S., which is another tie between our stories. So, anyway, when they like moved over to the U.S., they didn't bring like any of their paperwork from like England. So they could have kids that are just like grown up, you know, because
Yeah.
by the time they moved to the U.S., it was like they were past like in their 30s, like late 30s. So like they could have had kids, but we don't know. So, both Goody and William were both actually servants to this guy named Matthew Craddock, who was a very like rich merchant in London before they moved over here. And so I'm just confused by the word servant. Like, were they like slaves in a way to this man?
Okay. Isn't indentured servitude a thing?
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Because they served this man for like years and years and years of their life. And it just said after their service for Craddock was over. So like they had some sort of something going on. Like they had to work for this man. So
Yeah. I remember that in history class. See, there's some things you learn.
no, I didn't learn anything in history class.
Okay. Well, I remember about indentured servants where it was basically like you have to work for them for like 30 years or something.
Wow.
And then or a certain amount of time and you get something in return. Like I think if I hope I'm not wrong, but I think it's like a lot of people who went to America did this so then they could get over to America.
I mean, that makes sense because that's
Like,
exactly what happened.
yeah, that's what you got in return was you got to go over there. So that's probably
Wow.
what happened.
Yeah, wow. Well, that is exactly what happened because then immediately after they were released from his service, they came to the U.S. So specifically when they came, they went to Boston, Massachusetts, and they stayed there for a while and then eventually moved to Hampton, New Hampshire, after they became followers of Reverend John Wheelwright, who believed in antinomianism. Is that how I say it? I don't know. I tried to look it up, could not ever find out.
Okay.
But, so I had obviously no idea what that was. So I looked it up. And basically, it's like a branch of Christianity that believes in like Jesus and God and all the other like things in the Bible, except they do not believe in following laws, but specifically the 10 Commandments. Like they think the 10 Commandments is like a lie, but everything else is true.
Okay.
So like that's strange. Sorry not to knock
Okay.
anybody's religion, but that's a little weird.
I mean, what about like thou shalt not kill?
Oh no.
But,
No, they didn't believe in any laws, like not even the 10 Commandments, like none. So like that's,
that is a weird religion.
that's what I'm saying.
all
Like
gonna
it's
say.
super strange. It's super strange. I had never heard of it before.
Did you look up if that's still around?
I didn't, but I'm sure that it is, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. I'll get into some years here soon. Because it's, I mean, if you know, I did say she was convicted of being a witch, so
Right.
you know this is in the 1600s. Anyway, so when the couple started following the Reverend, he actually moved to Hampton, New Hampshire, so that's why they moved there. So, when they moved there, they joined his church, and they actually, when they joined the church, they received a large parcel of land, and that's where they ended up staying for the rest of their lives, which is wild. So yeah, they were like very devoted to this man. But now on to the more juicy stuff. So, Goody Cole was actually formally accused of witchcraft 3 times in her life. And the first time actually was in Boston in 1656 when several townspeople testified against her. And she was imprisoned until 1660. So 4 years, okay? Even though during her trial, they all admitted that it was strictly suspicion. Like,
Oh my God.
every basis. They're like, yeah, this is just our suspicions, but she's a witch. And so, obviously, she was acquitted and was never found guilty in Boston. Never. But they still threw her in jail for years.
That's so scary.
Right. That is
Like going to jail for
horrifying.
something you didn't do.
Literally. I mean, literally. Oh, my Lord.
That's
So-
honestly like even when I was younger, that used to be my biggest fear.
No, literally. It's still my biggest fear. Like, it could still happen.
Yeah, it could. It could happen even more now than it could back then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wow.
Well, I mean in my lifetime, not in
Yeah,
time.
not like, yeah.
I just mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Probably happened a lot more in the 1600s than it does now.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know about that for
Yeah.
sure, actually.
Me,
I'm just going to stop talking.
I was gonna say me, neither. But,
Yeah.
but that kind of like makes sense though, like why they like joined this like religion so fast. Because I think she was just like, we got to get out of here. Like they think I'm a witch, and like
Right.
I don't think she was a witch. So, anyways, so then they moved to New Hampshire, as I already mentioned, started their lives there, like, lived a normal life there until 1671, which was like 11 years after the first time she got imprisoned, she was charged yet again for witchcraft. However, after waiting trial for 2 years, she was found not guilty yet again. So,
what does she even do to like warrant the suspicion?
Literally the next bullet. Now you may be asking, what was she doing to get all these people to say she was a witch? So, according to the legend, she was accused of bringing sickness to people who she like had issues with, killing animals in really weird ways, and knowing secrets about people that she could never like know. Like that people were like, I did not tell her this, but she knew. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So, and people said that the only reasonable explanation that any of that could be true was with the help of the devil, and that she must be besties with him. Obviously, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So some people also said that they saw her turn into different animals too, like a cat and even an eagle one time.
I mean, American goddess over here,
right?
Into an eagle,
like, right? She's so patriotic.
Yeah.
And some actually even claimed to see her walking alongside of a man who they didn't know, who looked like the devil. And I'm like, sir, what does the devil look like? Could he not look like anything?
No, exactly.
Like, what does that even mean?
Okay, that sounds suspicious, because if you know what he looks like, then
right? Are you besties with the devil, fam?
Yeah,
Let me know. So it was also said that people did not really like Goody or her husband really because of like the controversial church that they were a part of. And overall, people just said that she was a quote unlikable person. And I'm like, okay. Now we've said this a million times on this podcast. Is it true, these things? Or is this just another case of a strong woman in a community, regardless of what she believes in, even if it's a little bit strange? Like, is she just saying what she believes in and people don't like that she's speaking up for herself?
I mean, that seems like it could be the case.
We will find out. So the third time that Goody Cole was arrested on charges of witchcraft, the court declared her guilty, but not of witchcraft. They declared her guilty of familiarity with the devil. That was literally the charge. Familiarity with the devil. Like, what kind of charge even is that? You can't prove that, fam. Sorry. It would never hold up in today's court.
See, this is why we had to get a separation of church and state. Because they were out here having the most wild claims.
Just killing people. Literally. You know how many people died in the witch trials? Like, Goody actually did not die in the witch trials. But, like... Spoiler alert. However, they literally ruined her whole life. Like...
Yeah.
Like, it's just so wild. So, anyway. So, this is just, it kind of blows my mind a little bit. So, since her charge was not witchcraft, it was familiarity with the devil, the court could not order her execution because it's not witchcraft. And, like, I'm sitting here like, okay, can somebody please tell me, like, I'm not even on their side, okay? But how is witchcraft a worse crime than familiarity with the devil?
Okay, that's not even my question. My question is, how is there a difference in their eyes?
Okay, that's a very solid point. Like, what is the difference?
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
I have so many questions. I do.
They're like, okay, you were with the devil, but you haven't had evidence of doing magic, so we can't say you're a witch.
Yeah, I think they're saying more along the lines of, like, they can't prove that she's doing the bad things, but she thinks that she's working with the devil so that he does the bad things. You know what I'm saying? Like a little conspiracy, a little like aiding and abetting action kind of going on. I think that's what they were trying to say. Yeah. But like, it's literally the same thing. Is it not? It is overall. So, you know, instead of being executed, she was sentenced to being whipped and imprisoned for as long as the court thought appropriate. Like,
okay,
which just what even is that sentence? Like, you can just do whatever you feel like? What the heck?
That's just how they were living back then.
It literally, I could never. I would be dead immediately on sight. I would have never even survived a day back then.
We would have been tried as witches.
Oh, 100%. We would have already been floating.
Yeah,
because don't they do that too? Like, see if you float, and if you float, you're a witch. Like, what?
Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible. So she, was whipped and served time. I couldn't actually find how long the second time she served was, but eventually she actually was able to get herself freed by arguing that her like aging husband needed her help. She was like, he needs my help. He's so old. And like they were older, but like not really, you know what I'm saying? But she had to use anything to get out.
I mean, you gotta use the patriarchy to your advantage.
Exactly. I mean, right. If it's going to be in place, you got to use it to your advantage.
Uh-huh.
So, but you see, the funny part was that she didn't actually want to help him. Like she just knew like he was dying. Like he actually was dying because he was old, even though he wasn't, old to our standards. But, she knew he was dying and she wanted to get the land in her name before he died. So she was like, I got to get out of here so I can get this land. However, before she could get out of prison, he got the deed solely in his name and immediately, once he received the papers, died. Like that was his last dying wish, was to not give her the land.
What? He thought she was a witch too, didn't he?
He had to. I mean, it was never said, but like
That's
I
crazy.
think I'm skipping, okay, but I just honestly think that she was just a very strong, independent woman and that people didn't like that back then.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. And that's it. I think that's what happened, which is just so sad. But so when she did get out, and they let her stay out, even though he died, it created like this huge dispute over the land. And so they settled the dispute by agreeing that the town could have the land, but that the town would have to, like, Goody would be paid for it and, like, taken care of by the town. Because, like, if they were going to take her for everything she ever owned, like, they had to support her, So, I mean,
Okay.
it's not the best option, but it's better than, like, nothing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this point in time, she was free and also a widow. But tragically, she was not free for long because 1 month after she was set free, she was back in prison under the charges of slanderous speech. Which is exactly the nail in the coffin of what proves to me that she was a strong, independent woman, and they didn't like that. Because, like, what? Slander? Like, what was she even saying? Probably nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you think she's saying? She's like, I don't like it here.
Probably.
Like,
she was like,
jail.
Right. Like, she was probably just like an old, bitter old woman, like, as she should be her whole life.
Right.
Like, even if she was a witch, I don't even care if she was. Like, curse them. They're so mean to you. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'm on her side.
I really am, too. Like, she could have been an awful person, and I don't know that. But, like, I don't believe, like, she was not. She was done wrong. That's what I know. Anyway, so since Goody Cole's care was left up to the town of Hampton, they provided her with like a really small, cute little house, which is interesting. But this is even more crazy, honestly. So every week, each family in town would have like a week to take care of her by providing her food and fuel.
That's so weird.
It's so weird, right? Like, it's like, why couldn't y'all just let her do it her own self on her land that her husband owned? I don't get it. Like, I just simply don't get it.
Yeah, like, it's like the whole town was like, we don't like you, but at the same time, we're also going to just take care of you for the rest of your days.
But it's only because the town was forcing them. Like, they didn't want to do it, the townspeople. But they're like, we have to. Like, we have to. So, in 1680, the townspeople made one last attempt to have her convicted of witchcraft. And so they literally went through a fourth trial, and the court was still unpersuaded, and she was allowed to return back to her house. So, it is now October of 1680, and Goody Cole was nearing 90 years old. And some townspeople started saying that they hadn't seen her in a few days, so they went to check her at her house, and they found her dead. So she did live a long, full life of just trying to prove she wasn't a witch, which is just so sad. But so the legend says that the townspeople dug a grave and tossed her into it, and then attached a horseshoe for good luck to a stake and then drove that said stake with the horseshoe on it through her grave to make sure, I guess, that she was just like locked in there forever. Because I guess they still kind of thought she was a witch. So, what is so interesting is that there is a huge legend ever since her death that's like super popular in New Hampshire. And it's that the city of Hampton is cursed because of all the wrongful convictions of Goody Cole. So they say, like, because of all of that in her life, she was a witch and she cursed them. So
wow, so they're still saying she's a witch to this day. It's what I'm hearing.
Literally, since the 1600s, Goody Cole has been to blame for any wrongdoing or any accident that has ever happened anywhere near this town in New Hampshire.
Come on. I'm not buying it.
No, me neither. And there was like a really, 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 really big tragedy where like this boat full of Hampton residents were like out partying on it, and the boat actually overturned, and there was like hundreds of people on this boat, okay? And some of them swam back to shore, but they were so far out there that like most of them didn't make it, and they ended up drowning. And they literally blamed her. They said, it was the curse of Goody Cole, and it was the curse that sank the ship, and also the people who drowned, she cursed them too and made them forget how to swim. And I'm like, girl, no, she did not.
Justice for Goody, honestly.
Justice for Goody. Literally, her reputation has been dragged through the mud her whole life in hundreds and hundreds of years, literal centuries, still being dragged through the mud, right? So we're going to fast forward a whole bunch to 1938, nearly 300 years, okay? An organization known as, quote, the Society in Hampton for the Apprehension of Those Falsely Accusing Eunice Goody Cole of Having Familiarity with the Devil. That's the whole name for this organization. And in my opinion, that's a very unique name.
Yeah, definitely.
So this group of people, came to the realization that, hey, maybe we should try to fix Goody's reputation because we really have trashed her for centuries. And obviously they're like, okay, these claims were not true. Like she wasn't even really convicted back then. She was, but like not really, you know what I'm saying? So on March 8th, 1938, at the 300th town meeting of Hampton, New Hampshire, the town citizens passed a resolution restoring Goody Cole to her rightful place as a citizen of Hampton. And
yay!
I know, shout out to Goody Cole for that one. And so actually after the town meeting, they had this like ceremony where all of the certified case copies, like of all of her court documents, they threw that as well as soil from her last home and like final resting place, threw it into this huge bonfire and like lit it on fire. All of her court case records and just everything to do with her, lit it ablaze. And which is like beautiful, honestly,
Yeah.
A little bit too late, but better late than never. So today, actually, the town makes Goody Cole witch dolls, okay? And you can buy them, and they're apparently like really popular, and it looks like her, allegedly, so that's cool and cute. And finally, in 2003, a barbecue restaurant opened there called Goody Cole's Smokehouse, and I'm pretty sure it's still open today, so that's really cool too. But yeah, that is the legend of Goody Cole, and I'm here to restore her name, that she was not a witch. So period.
Yeah, honestly, justice for her.
Justice
we're
for Goody
on her
Cole,
side.
man. What the heck? They literally destroyed her.
It sounds to me though that like the town was split because that's like half of them got her to court because they're like, she's a witch, and then the other half made it so like, okay, we can't convict her because she's not, though.
Exactly.
Like
at least like the court system was kind of working, sort of, even though they still imprisoned her, even though she wasn't guilty. I don't know. That's just like a very wild story. I don't even know how I stumbled across it, but I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is like very clear that she's not a witch. Like normally I'm like, maybe, but this one I'm like, absolutely she was not.
Yeah.
And justice for Goody.
She's just a girl boss. You know?
Hashtag girl boss. Literally.
She's just too powerful for them.
Literally. That's what it was. They were scared of her.
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad, but yeah. Go check out our Instagram to see pictures of this like fort and these weird hill houses, and also Goody Cole.
Yes.
Maybe I can find a picture of the doll too. I'll have to look.
Okay.
But yes, and please, if you would, go rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm trying to think of what else I have. But I feel like I don't have anything else for you.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Okay, well.
I'm gonna go watch an episode of Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah. I might go rewatch it. Okay, well, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, cue the music.